One.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Kellen Cash here. Little work break tip, whatnot. Take a break and spill this game. Let's talk about today how you get your first client, no matter what you're doing. How you get your first customer, it's all the same. How you treat one is how you'll treat them all. Nobody is special to the point where you treat people different. You should have a system in play on how you do business. And in my hand, I got my wand, so I know what I'm talking about, like any real instructor. So to get your first client, and let me speak first in PR, marketing, social media, because a lot of people are into that right now, and everyone's calling themselves an expert. Everyone's saying that we do this, we do that. And, there are a lot of people out there who do it. It's just, how do you choose your people? Or how, if you are the person doing the work, what makes you stand out? And to me, what makes you stand out when you don't have a huge body of work. I remember, just trying to get first clients over a decade ago. When you don't have a large body of work and you're really having to prove yourself, you may have to volunteer. That's what a lot of people do. But you also may create your own product and make that stand out and show people. I made shirts, these shirts like this. I didn't make this one, but I've made shirts because I had inside tips on things and of music coming out or phrases coming out. This is prior to social media, but online. You maybe you had MySpace at best, but you get your first clients by proving that you know what you're talking about, at least more than they know. And that's a big thing, because if you know more than they know, you now are the expert in the political or in the professional world. So create something. If PR, marketing, advertising, and show that I can attract customers. If you're an event planner, throw an event. It could be for a good cause, nonprofit. Again, that goes back to the volunteering. But you're going to have to show that you can do this, because there are so many people. I've had so many booking agents that say, oh, yeah, we can get your clients booked. And they get all this information. Some of them, especially in California, have taken money, right? And I still see them advertising to people, and I tell people, I wouldn't do business with them if you ask me, because they'll take your money, right? Because they'll say, oh, we have to do this for SEO, and they'll make it sound real fancy, but they don't book one gig, because a booking agent is probably the hardest thing to find. It's like finding good promoters, but you can find good promoters. But a booking agent, their job is just to book talent for events, paid events. So you get your first clients by your networking, by your knowledge, by your experience. When you don't have any, you really need to be on point with your knowledge, because I'm always looking for new talent. But what I see is everyone has a gift to gab. That's not what necessarily all that you need. Can you write? And a lot of people can't write, and they know it. But I tell people, if you can't write, that doesn't mean you can't do this, but you're going to have a solid team, because you're not the writer. You're not a solid writer for whatever. Maybe it's just not your thing. But if you can't write, if you can't code, if you're not familiar with all the social media platforms that could help sell a product, because at the end of the day, if you're not helping somebody sell, promote, market, put it out there, you're no good to that person. You might be the coolest person in the world, but you are just this, talk. And I think a lot of people think that, consulting, I can just consult because all I can talk about. You got to prove those numbers, and why, even if it's a theory, why that theory is going to work. See, you gotta have, there's some science behind this. It's not just we're magically gonna, take the wand and just poof, and then it goes in the air and blows up. So I tell everybody, don't rush in this game. Take your time, have mentorship, have volunteer work, because before someone gives you one dime, they're gonna want to know, what can you do? Do you double check your work before you put it out there? Do you look at the current trends, and do you know how many, if it's a press release or if it's a media post, a social media post, even how many you should do in a day, when you should cut it off? If if you're helping a musician, how many songs should you send to somebody? Because there's a rule. There's rules to this. So I just say, be the expert, truly, in anything. This could be even in Forex, which is something I'm studying more and more, playing around with more and more, making a little money. And I want to, when I talk about that fully, I want to really be able to go in depth on strategy. Every time I'm in a game, I'm trying to break the game. I'm trying to find the crack. There's a crack in every game, and I want to find that crack. I want to find that gray area, that area that no one's really tapping into, and just be on the edge, because that's how you stay undefeated. It's kind of like when you used to play video games. You knew that there was a crack in the game. You knew that Bo Jackson couldn't be stopped. You knew that Thurman Thomas couldn't be stopped. You knew it when you started creating your players, and if you put them to 99.9. But if you do too much on the 99, that they get fatigued. So you balance things out. You got to find those cracks, and you got unstoppable talent. Just like in card games, any game, all games, business is just a game. And thank y'all for checking out the diversifiedgame.com podcast, because that is, we got interviews on there giving you even more game. You can't say that you're around me and that you can't start a business. Just listening to the stuff that I put out there, you can start a business just off that. You can start becoming the influencer that you're watching, that you want to become, just like that, if that's what you want. Not everybody wants to be the mega influencer, but that you have influence over people. And it doesn't mean that you're going to be a YouTube star. Doesn't mean that you're going to be an Instagram star. It might mean in your community you have influence. It might mean through some very powerful people, politicians, whatever, podcasters, you might be an influence. Whatever titles make you help sleep at night. The title that I'm happy with is father, husband, entrepreneur, and creative. So, whatever titles, I'll take those. But yeah, I want to give you guys some game, how to get that first client, throw some things out there. I might come back on here. I got some other topics. So, stay tuned, like, share, subscribe, support. Support is always a beautiful thing, because, and you can book some time for sure to talk, but we're doing it our way.